Hello everyone and welcome to Young Minds Unplugged, a modern perspective on parenting. And I'm your host, Manisha.
And I'm Avnish, the young mind in the subject.
Join us on this journey where I will take you through how I simplified my parenting journey.
And what effect it had on me and shaped me into what I am.
So don't forget to tune into Young Minds Unplugged on Spotify, Instagram and YouTube on every Thursday for some exciting conversations.
Ciao!
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Young Minds Unplugged. Okay, so now teenage, or we say teenagers, this is the most crucial phase in a human being life, in the human cycle that we can say. And this teenage can be defined as the metamorphosis phase. So what is metamorphosis? Metamorphosis is the phase where the change happens permanently. Okay, so when this change happens, we cannot reverse it back. So this applies to teenage as well, because this is how when they go through the teenage, there's a permanent change where your child is now being prepared to become an adult. So it's a permanent change that happens in emotional, physical and mental well-being. It's a complete change that happens. So all the aspects are changed. All the aspects go through a permanent change. So this we define as the most crucial phase of the human cycle, of the human life. But now what happens is that this phase can sometimes get really murky. Rather, I'll say many times it is very murky, because there's a lot of confusion, there are a lot of changes happening, and the kids go through this phase. And when they go through this phase, the changes happen physically, emotionally, intellectually and mentally. So when I say physically, I mean to say there are changes that happen in the body which are permanent. In the girls, you have that, okay, they have their menses coming in, they have their breasts growing. In the boys, yes, of course, they have hairs growing in their private parts, they have their voice cracking up. So all these physical changes start happening in the kids when they enter the teenage. When I'm talking about emotional, yes, there's a huge upheaval, there's a huge spike in the emotions which these guys go through, these kids go through during this phase. The reason being that there are hormonal changes that are happening within, and they are totally out of control. Nobody can control those hormonal changes. There are a lot of changes happening, and they in effect really take a toll on the emotions of these kids. So I think that at that point of time, they become aggressive, they become rebellious, the tolerance level is a little low. That is what happens with teenagers. Now when I'm talking about the mental changes, the brain structure changes permanently. The neural pathways are now formed permanent. So you have the brain structure is totally and completely changed. The challenges that they'll be facing when they get into the adulthood. So those are the mental changes that happen. So this phase, like I said, can get murky because there are so many changes happening on so many levels. I mean, it's just that, okay, you have those 7-8 years and the kids go through so many changes, and at the same time, this is also the age where your career decision, or you are at the crucial age where you have to decide for your career. Now guys, just imagine you are undergoing so many changes at so many levels, and on top of that you have peer pressure, you have competition, you have so many things to distract you, you have so many things to influence you, and plus you still have to be poised and take a decision in your career. Your academics need to be good. On top of that, parents have high expectations from their kids. They not only want their kids to fare good in academics, but yes, they would also want them to be very good in extracurricular activities like singing or dancing or swimming or some other sport. Now this truly takes a toll on these kids a lot. We need to understand that this consumes a lot of energy. The changes that are happening in their body, the changes that they're going through emotionally and mentally, it consumes a lot of energy, and that is the reason sometimes parents complain to me, that my kid is very lazy. And I tell them, kid is not lazy. The energy that is being consumed for all these changes is coming from within his body. And that is the reason that he's feeling a little tired many times. He or she is feeling tired, and that's why they need more sleep. I think if you remember, as when a child is born, we normally say that a child the more the child sleeps, the better the growth is, right? A newborn baby, we always say that more the baby sleeps, the more it will grow better. Same applies to the teenagers at times also, because lot is happening, a lot of changes, a lot of energy is being consumed. So the more they rest, the better their body will develop, the better their mind will develop, the better they'll be able to handle their emotions. That doesn't mean that teenagers or teens should take this as an excuse and go and laze around and make it as an excuse and not study or not do things around, But yes, whenever needed, they feel tired, they need to rest, and parents also need to understand this. So these are the changes that actually happen. This is how teenage can be defined, a very murky phase, but a very crucial phase. But at the same time, you can make this also a very happening phase, because this is the time when your kids are ready to take any risks. This is where the mind is naive. It can take any, it wants to dwell into adventures, take risks and do new things. Parents need to encourage their kids, as long as it's not too risky for the kids, but the parents need to encourage them. So this is how we talk about, this is what happens when a person enters a teenage, and we all have gone through it, and we may be having some or the other person in and around us, or in our family, or in our extended family, who is into this phase right now. So we need to understand very well how to hold hand of these teenagers and how to help them sail through this journey very safely, and so that they come out as better citizens, they come out as better human beings. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any queries, or if you would like to share your journey, then reach out to us on contact@thoughtincubators.com. Thank you very much.